Hello, everybody. This is a Lamley sneak peek showcase. Hey, look, 2 new faces. I don't think we've done a video with either one of you. So, hello, number 1.
Hello, I'm Brian.
See, and you can tell we've got a whole new crew. We're going to work through the interview here. We're going to work through this. We got Brian, and we got...
And I'm Craig.
Craig, both of the Hot Wheels design teams. Why don't we real quickly, before we get into this, tell us, like, in 2 seconds, a little bit about who you are.
Yep.
Tell us your name, full name, that kind of stuff, so we can all harass you at future conventions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Brian, you go first.
Yes, thank you. All right, I'm Brian Zhao. I'm from China, and I came to US to study and went to Aston College of Design, and it was during my college life where I was fortunate to be able to join the Hot Wheels team for a brief internship, and even more fortunate to come back here as a full-time designer. So,
Awesome. So you were at Art Center in Pasadena.
Yes, Art Center in Pasadena, exactly.
Fantastic. Yeah, I used to live right near there, but that's about as close as I got to that to that campus. But I know how renowned it is. Craig, tell us who you are.
So, I mean, first I want to welcome Brian. Brian's our newest designer on the product team, and it's amazing to have him on board. So, yeah, so
awesome.
We can have
awesome.
Him here. I'm Craig Callum. I'm design manager for Basics Premium and various other projects within the Hot Wheels team. Been here now 2 years, which is...
Wow.
I know, it's flown by. But, I mean, loved every minute. I'm so happy to be here.
That's so cool.
It's great. But yeah, I mean, what we would like to do is take you through a few of our sneak peeks.
Let's do it. Let's do it. And I think that's where we get a sense of who you guys are as designers and what, I think we'll learn a lot about you just through the design. So I'll let you guys kind of pick out what you want. We can maybe go back and forth. So we've got some designs from you, Brian, obviously from you, Craig, and then maybe some other things with the team. You know, you're representing the entire Basics team in a sense right now. So we'll get to that. So Brian, let's start with one of yours.
All right. I guess we can start with one of these ones. This is the one that a lot of people saw this at the signing the other day, and they were asking questions.
Yes.
This is my, here, let me hear.
You're good. No, you can hold it out there. We just want to make sure you can see it in light. And we've talked about this when people have been, I think some people have been seeing this in the stores, just coming out.
Creep out now.
Yeah. I think it's out in mostly in Asia right now.
Yeah.
I see this in social media a lot. It's the Volkswagen T33 Custom with our Hot Wheels sense of flavor, and how do I put this?
I like flavor. I like it as flavor, yes.
Yeah, it's the third car that I did during my internship. I had the design down right before I left, and then Fraser was nice enough to help me out with the development and all the engineering and all the engineering aspects of it. And it was a very fun project. We wanted to do something very extreme with a car of such modesty. We wanted to see like what we can push this car to be.
Sure.
And I was like, why don't we just sculpt a huge amount of arrows in there, a huge amount of arrows in there, and see what we end up with.
Yeah.
When this was sent to me, and I had some notes from you guys, from Fraser, one of the things he said was, we can't believe that VW said yes, because I mean it is such an interesting take on an old classic, right?
We're so fortunate right now. I mean, there's a lot of brands we're working with, and they all now see, we've got such a talented design team. I think they're seeing that we are able to communicate the car, so we're keeping that identity of the car, but we're doing it in a really extreme new way. So Volkswagen was one of those companies where we're always very like, what can we do? What can't we do?
Sure.
And they loved it. They were really keen for this design. I think it helps, we've got cars like the Ford Supervan out there now.
Right.
And so this is kind of a feasible thing that companies are starting to do. So I think it's a nice way as well for them to kind of do something similar without having to build a full-size real car.
And totally expands kind of perception, and it's awesome. I love it.
It takes them to a new place. I mean, the T3 is a brick as well. So as a motor, it's an absolute brick.
Right.
And so to be able to kind of juxtapose that with this full aero treatment at the back. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's really cool.
That would lead me then, and I'm not leading the conversation,
No.
but considering you got this with VW, there's been a lot online about this Aston Martin.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that for a second?
That one, yeah. I mean, again, you know, we're so fortunate with our partners. VW's one of those that we've been able to do something fun with. But actually, with Aston and the DB4 GT High Speed Edition,
It's so crazy.
yeah, this was actually a full collaboration. So we spoke to them. Their design team really wanted to do something with us. I mean, it's a dream for. I mean, I was a car designer before I came to Hot Wheels, and I think that's one of those things where you always think, oh, if only I could work for Hot Wheels, I could design this or I could do that, and I'd be allowed to make the most extreme version of something. So their design team actually really wanted to work with us. We collaborated on this. We had lots of different ideas, and obviously I can't go through what they are in case we, you know, in the future, you know, bring some of them back.
There might be some that are still, festering.
But this was kind of where we really thought this is the perfect Hot Wheels version of an Aston Martin. It's got the heritage of both brands.
Right.
You know, it's not the most modern vehicle. It's got, you know, it's a very historic kind of looking vehicle, really, when you come down to it. But that's what we liked about it. It was really playing into the heritage of these brands, rather than, you know, we just wanted to celebrate that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's the what if. You know, what if Aston Martin had gone to the Salt Flats to do a high speed run, and this is what we think that might have looked like.
It's so cool. I am so thrilled with it. And yeah, I mean, the next thing to do is tell Aston to actually build one of these and get them out to Bonneville.
Still pushing.
Yeah.
Still pushing.
I think that would be pretty sweet.
But yeah, we had a lot of fun with it. I mean, you can see we've gone for the Bur Zamac because it would have been that thing where we'd have had a highly polished aluminium body, and no paint and all that sort of thing. So that's why it's Bur Zamac. And then other things as well, we've put white. Actually, the wheels are white, plastic molded to give the idea of that salt that's kind of collected in the tread. But it was a lot of fun. So we worked with the team over there and put that together.
These are two, I mean, so out of left field, surprised everybody.
Yeah, and also just so, you know, the difference, but the approach to these vehicles was very similar.
Sure. And it's so cool. And I know people have been getting their hands on these now, and I mean, we could talk about just these two for another hour, honestly, even as a collector, because there's an aesthetic to these two, an approach to these that can speak to, I think, kind of what we're kind of figuring out with you guys with this current team.
Yeah, exactly. I think Hot Wheels has always had this automotive authenticity. But taking that to the extreme, and I really want to make sure we maintain that, but authenticity is key. And so I think, and the team gets it, and we're sort of doing some real fun things now. And I think actually that takes me to the next car.
Let's do it.
Talk to you about.
Let's do it.
You'd have seen the sneak of this one previously. So this is the Drift Ender. I actually have an update for you on that one, which is the Drift Ender with graphics.
Oh, here it is. So, here it is.
So actually this is going to change slightly for production, but what you see here is pretty much where we are. And this was another one, you know, we weren't entirely sure whether Land Rover were going to be like, maybe don't do that with the car. But we wanted to, and this is actually a project that started many years. I mean, 2 years before 2 years I arrived, and it started before that. This was Dima started. We knew Dima was into his Land Rover.
Yes, he was.
But the sketches were remained, and the project was kind of started. So we're like, no, let's get that one done. We really love this one. And so this is, you know, what if Land Rover were to build a drift vehicle? What if that was a Defender? And here we have it, the Drift Ender. Leeway did the graphics on this, and I wanted to really sort of jump into that ending of a drift, so the police kind of graphics.
I was wondering.
Ender. So, you know, they've got to have a drift car to keep up with the drift cars. So that's kind of where we had a bit of fun with that. So this is the police Drift Ender.
I was not going to, when I saw the prototype, obviously I was like, a police would have been the last thing I thought of, but there's where we go.
It ends drifts, technically. I mean, or it's the drift to end all drifts. So,
got it.
The Drift Ender.
Got it. I love it.
No, this is
I mean, it really is ridiculous. I could say, like, here we are. We've got a VW van. We've got a Land Rover Defender and a classic Aston Martin.
I know,
And none of them are anything like what you would picture in your brain.
No.
So, I love it.
But when you see them, and I think, and hopefully everyone agrees, but when you see them, you get like you're like, oh, okay, yeah,
The
no,
essence
that
is there.
makes
They're there.
sense.
They're there.
Like,
Yep,
yeah.
totally.
It's completely wild, but also similarly.
You could
Makes
see
sense.
them as builds from anything from SEMA to someone's
Precisely.
garage
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
You
no,
can totally see it
precisely
happening.
that. And you know, so if anyone out there wants to make one of these for real,
Seriously, it's
more than
time.
one.
It's time.
And I will go into one more of
'Kay.
mine. Another one that we did see the sneak of.
Yes.
So the Kia EV6.
Yeah, this was a surprise.
Yeah. And that was similar to, I mean, you know, but we actually have a graphic update.
I want to see it.
So here we go. It's pretty
Okay.
wild.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Now, who did the graphics on this?
This is Andres.
Maybe we'll get him.
Yeah, you should.
We'll
You should
get him over
and
here.
Get his where he's coming from on this. But
Yes.
I think with Andre's graphics, there's always this kind of wild side to them. You know, the anime, the illustrative style that he puts into those vehicles is
Right.
always exciting. So, yeah, I don't know what he was. You know, I don't know where he was coming from with this one.
Yeah, I saw you rephrase. I don't know what he was thinking. I saw you change that.
Yeah.
No, we know what you meant. We know
I
what you meant.
think, you know, that it was one of those. It's sort of that anime style that he really wanted to get across with the brand. So
And again, this will be an ongoing theme, I think, for this chat we're having, is that everything is surprising. Like it's, you're like your initial reaction is whoa, and
Yep.
then it's like wait, it totally makes sense.
yeah, that's it. And so you know, you can see, because we want to take, you know, the thing about Hot Wheels is we want to take these road cars, but we want to create this fantasy world where people can see what they're capable of,
Sure.
you know, beyond what they do on the road. And the Kia EV6 is very much a standard production car,
Right.
But instead we've given it this wild aero. It's got the flying buttresses at the back. It's got full aero on the front through the hood, and it's all things that, yeah, you know, you just imagine what you could do with a car like that and take it in a new direction.
Yeah, you guys are starting. I mean, I'm already thinking like the Aztec from this year.
Precisely.
Oh,
yeah.
And it's like
Yeah.
this. We're sensing this. We're
Yeah,
sensing
exactly. It's the Aztec was one of mine as well, and,
Yeah.
and I just have fun with these cars because I mean, as a car designer, you're like, well, what if you just did this
Right.
or tweaked that? Is there a way that we can present this car in a completely new way?
Sure.
And I think the EV6 was another example of that.
Absolutely. I'm thinking like maybe Walter White could have built that Aztec with that stack of money he had in his storage unit.
If he wasn't so busy doing
Yes,
other things,
yes.
yeah, very much so.
I mean, if you can innovate a gun in the trunk of a Cadillac, I'm sure he could innovate a racing Aztec
Exactly.
too.
I think that was his next step.
It was just there. We just never got there.
Yeah.
He had other things. All right.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Brian, we're moving to you.
All right. I guess we shall now move on to something that we all recognize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's talk about this one.
Yes. This one is I believe the Gordon Murray T33.
Yes.
Fraser did the casting on this one. Super good job on this casting, transforming this car from a 1:1 scale onto 1/164, and then keeping the beautiful proportion of this car very nicely done. And you can even see under the light the interior. Yeah.
Let's see if I can catch it here.
Yeah, in the interior on the instrument panel, you see the steering wheel and everything, all the details. is all being sculpted in there. Yeah.
Yeah, did a good job with this.
I learned from our old friend, the great Ryo Asada, how difficult cars like this with these kind of lines are to sculpt, like to shrink down. It seems, for those of us who don't know, it just seems like an easy thing. But when it comes to like Porsches and Bugattis and something that has this kind of line, it's very, very difficult
There's
to do.
a lot of subtleties in those cars that when you bring it down to that scale, they're just completely lost. So we have to exaggerate them, but we have to still maintain the accuracy too. So it's a real fine line between kind of ending up too bubbly or too sort of jelly mold. Flat. So it's a balance of those things. But I mean, this one, it really works at 164. And again, the details on the back with the tail lights are
crazy.
Yeah, it's really come out well.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful piece.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Very
Yeah,
detailed.
cool.
Yeah, love it. Let me see what else. plenty more.
Yeah.
This one I believe was on your channel a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and I totally this is classic me. I didn't say it right, but I love this.
the set, yes.
Yeah, I said seat. Of course I did,
seat
and I've said Peugeot wrong. I've said Renault wrong, and our wonderful viewers will always correct me, and I hope they're being nice about it when they do. And it's great. So I've learned. So you guys can talk through this one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. This is another very. This was kind of like this was a very, very interesting project. I remember Sean did the casting of this one. He did a very good job with capturing all the details of like a very hardcore race car. If you think about like a race car in a 1-to-1 scale, all the carbon fiber panels, all the canards, all the wings, they are very, very thin, right? So how do we recapture that in 1/64? And like some of the details, what do we sacrifice? What do we keep? What do we do the best we do that when we shrink a car with that complexity down from 1-to-1 to 1/64? What can we get out of this? And I think Sean kept a really nice balance of this.
It's awesome.
This casting.
It's a wild car. And,
it is a very, very wild car.
It's actually, one car that we didn't have to modify or anything like that.
Right.
It's already absolutely wild.
That's another element of collecting that I love. People will ask me if I'm a car guy, and I'm like, I think I am, but maybe I'm not, because what happens is something like this comes out, and I'm quickly to Google, and then you go down into this deep hole learning about these things, and then you're all of a sudden an expert, kind of.
The car world's pretty big. I don't think
it
can be expected to
know
every single one that comes along. But the Cooper is just
It's super cool. That you can tell the elements for a $1 car. It's insane. They're not really $1 anymore, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that's
This car
fantastic.
itself, like even without us doing any like modifications to it, is already very Hot Wheels like. It's like a very performance, very hardcore, very speed driven. Yeah,
Yes.
definitely one of those very interesting cars that we should definitely makes it onto our radar.
Should absolutely.
Yeah,
I agree.
Very nice.
On from that one, do you want to go to the Mustang?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to. Let's
car
talk
of
about
a-
this one. Another one we've seen, but
Yes.
it's wild.
Car of a similar nature.
Yeah. I mean, and the funny thing is, it's almost like it looks like we've exaggerated the rear spoiler on this one, but actually, I mean, apart from production thing where we do have to make it slightly thicker,
Sure.
it's pretty much that big and wild.
It's-
this is the ultimate Mustang. I
It's
mean,
like a Mustang supercar, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
essentially
yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
So it's one of those cars where we would probably have enhanced a Mustang to look like this, whereas this one was like we took the data and we're like, actually,
right,
this
we're
is
good.
Yeah.
pretty spot on.
Yeah.
We have some limitations in production, but no, this is another fantastic looking car.
It really is cool. Yeah, that spoiler's awesome.
Yeah,
It really is awesome. That's the signature piece
so
here, isn't
over
it?
the top, but it
I love it.
it's how it comes.
I love it. And that's coming real soon too, I think, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
it's done.
Yeah.
Okay.
See the
definitely.
model there.
I have two more here to show for the
Yeah, I have my eyes on a couple. That
Oh
BMW,
yeah, that one.
that BMW. It's been in my hand a few times since before
Alright.
you guys got here, because I think this thing is so cool.
Isn't it cool?
Yeah. So this one was a very, very interesting one. I do like the BMW 6 Series a lot. One of my favorite BMWs from.
For sure, I'm with you.
Yeah.
One of the great BMW silhouettes for
Ultimate
sure.
shark nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one, there was a version. I remember it was a couple of kit cars was built, and then there was one of the versions with the John Player Special.
Yes, right. Yeah. It was
Oh,
a
wow.
full race car.
Yes, a full race car.
It raced in period. Under that iconic black and gold color.
Right.
So it's an awesome car. I think it's and again it was another one where the proportions are so enhanced of the real car, so when we bring it into Hot Wheels it just makes sense straight away. And we've got those awesome wheels to kind of really play on that too.
So is this the wheel we're going to see on this, you think, or is that just?
Yeah,
That's
not far
real.
off.
That's kind of perfect. Yeah.
Exactly.
I just quick tangent. Someone I knew growing up in Arizona owned a original Frank Lloyd Wright house, one of the coolest things ever.
Oh, wow.
And he drove 6 Series
Of
BMW
course.
and parked it in front of this really cool parking lot. I could
Yeah.
go in all the design elements I love about Frank Lloyd Wright, but there was the small entrances and things like that. And he would park that thing and just kind of
I
perfect.
think you've got to have a 6 Series if you're.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it's designed at its peak,
Yeah.
I think, and so
Yep.
the 6 Series BMW was perfect.
makes sense.
Very, very excited. Is there any hints on what this is going to look like in?
Nope.
All right, we won't. I'll always ask, and you guys can always tell me no.
Yep.
But I cannot wait for that one.
it's gonna
So
be a good one.
it's going to be sweet.
Yeah, very, very cool. And then this one, another very, very interesting one. The Dodge Viper
Yes.
GTS, I believe, was 1 or 2 years ago. We saw the convertible version.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Now this time it came back as a hardtop.
We're getting the hardtop.
The GTS version, yes. So I remember just a casting done by Sean as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that we're getting the companion piece here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you do those 3-spoke wheels, you might as well do a Viper.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah.
it just-
Exactly. Yeah.
It seems like built from the ground up.
Precisely that.
Yeah. You have to do it.
Yeah,
You
now,
have to
now
do it.
that we love the idea of you can put this car next to the convertible one
yeah.
that from 2 years ago, and you have a 2 Vipers of the same era and same generation, is absolutely amazing to see these cars together in 1/64 scale as well.
I'm old enough to have been around when the Vipers hit, and we did not know what to think of what. Like we were like, these little kids just going,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is what Dodge? What?
Yeah.
You know, like I mean, like, yeah." So
But it transformed the brand for that too.
Totally.
And now that's what you expect of Dodge, is these wild horsepower figures and crazy vehicles like that.
so super excited. I won't even ask you what it's going to look like. I'll just let you guys roll it out. So, all right, what else we got?
I'm going to show you one
'Kay.
last real life licensed vehicle, which is
Oh,
one of my favorites. I'm not sure you've seen this one yet.
no.
Okay, this is the Morgan Super 3. I'm obsessed by these cars. I've worked with Morgan in previous lifetimes, and so we're so pleased to be able to do this as a car. This is a 3-wheeler car. It's actually it's a new car. It's out there on the market right now, but it's based on their iconic 3-wheeler car series that they've been doing since 20s or 30s.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, no, and we've been working with them to do that. We developed the graphics for that. I'm very excited for that one to come out.
I should be asking you more questions, but I'm like
I'm
trying to figure it out. Like I'm just like you've got. I think we've seen wheels like this before,
So
and
it's
then
it's a new style of wheel
Okay.
in the family of those wheels. So it's the Aerofan turbofan wheel, but
done very
but we've done a skinny
slim.
version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it fits into the format of our other wheels. We've just added a new size for that wheel.
And this is what I mean. I can see this is so cool, and then I can also see where these wheels can go too. But
there's lots of
But I don't want
places.
to. This is
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, no, we're excited by this one.
And I'm noticing if I'm metal chassis, metal body.
Yeah.
This is probably because budget-wise you have fewer wheels.
Exactly that. We don't have as many axles to worry about. We also don't have a windscreen on this one.
That's
so it's
true,
fewer
okay.
parts. So it allowed us to do that. I mean, that's one of the things. If we want to make sure we're still giving the value for these vehicles.
Sure.
So exactly that.
Perfect.
It's actually metal, but yeah.
I'll just stop here. But again, as this board is forming, it's really surprising how cool it is.
Yeah.
So, all right, what else we got?
Okay.
All right.
Some originals.
Yes, now we are onto something that a lot of us devote a lot of time into,
Yes.
and a lot of passion into.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is, our originals designs. I mean, we have a lot of fun with some of our licensed vehicles, but the originals is where we're really expending a lot of our design energy and having a lot of fun with these vehicles.
And I, as one who gravitates to the license stuff, and I know
Yeah.
I'm not alone on this, I will admit to gaining a greater appreciation. Part of it is talking to you guys, and so just talking to designers and see what it came up with. It's not just I wanted to put wheels on a donut. It's like there's a lot of thought into these.
Exactly. I think, even, we talked about automotive authenticity, and I'm going to repeat myself because that authenticity is still so key when we do our originals too.
Right.
We want to celebrate the automotive world, but we want to do that in a fantasy way. but we don't want to make it look goofy or silly. So we really want to make sure we're still keeping that automotive spirit alive in all of the vehicles we develop. So yeah, whether it's originals or licensed or custom or whatever it might be. But yeah, so we've got a few here.
I'm very excited. Now let me ask you, Brian, because I'm seeing, and I will start with that first one. So I'll assess the year. You know, at the end of the year, I do the Lamley Awards and stuff. But the Aston Martin and the small block probably caught my attention more than anything else. Did you do the small block too, or is that someone?
Small block was Fraser.
Yeah. Fraser did the small block. I love the design, and then when I saw, well, I'm going to talk about this one.
You want this guy?
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about the pink one too. But like, I saw this.
Yep.
And I want to talk about that, and then we'll talk about your design. So this is this Fraser as well? This one?
Fraser as well, or did you?
Or did you do this
that
one?
Was Sean. Yeah.
This is Sean.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But
so
the
I
family, so this is long block.
Yes. Okay. Can I
go
show the
small
chassis on this one?
Yeah. So we developed long block alongside short block, small block.
Small is it small block?
Small block.
We developed long block to go alongside small block.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see, you know, there's a family here of those two vehicles where we wanted to sort of give that wooden toy kind of feeling to the car.
A bit of a Pinewood Derby vibe.
Exactly that, yeah, but bring it into the modern era.
Yeah.
And to give it the Hot Wheels treatment. So yeah, we're really simplifying the forms down here, thinking about, you know, what that form factor might look like if we were to carve these out of wood.
Yeah. They're so cool.
Yeah, it's so much fun because you really get to play with that. You know, you think about silhouettes, you think about just proportions, and you're really kind of bringing design thinking down to its like basic principles, rather than, you know, you don't get carried away with all these details. It's literally, okay, what angle is this line, and you're really focusing.
The simplicity says a lot.
Yeah, precisely. And actually, you know, it might look really easy to do, but actually it takes just as long. It's just as much thought. But the whole team, we really love this idea of this family of block vehicles.
I'm really into them, and
they're fun.
Yeah, I just dig them.
Yeah, it works really well.
Okay, so let's go to.
And then this.
Yes. This one is called I believe called the Slide Burn.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is a casting done by Fraser. I love to see. I love how when we're looking at originals, we are examining, or we are observing different personalities of different designers.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, clashing into each other on this highway. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely one of the very cool castings I've ever seen. Very, very cool proportion. I believe Fraser was inspired by 70s muscle.
Yeah, hence the name.
Right.
Slide burn.
Right.
Sideburns.
Yeah.
Very 70s thing.
I'm hearing a certain kind of music.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm seeing guys in tight
Yeah.
t-shirts and jeans chasing after bad guys and doing a lot of punching that has that kind of poof sound when they punch them. Yeah, that's what I'm gathering.
Here it is in metallic pink, so I think, you know, you can kind of you can see
it's
where
vibing.
this is coming from.
It's vibing.
Yeah. And also there's a lot of inspiration there from, you know, original Hot Wheels originals. You know, that was all taking place in the 70s is really where it starts to kick off for these cars. So it's a lot of fun.
When I saw this, like, my thought was this is something you could see in the next couple of years rolling out at Legends as a custom Hot Wheels build.
Yeah.
You know, sitting next to the Diora and the twin mill and things like that. It has that vibe.
It's supposed to fit in that family.
Yeah.
And it definitely does.
It does. It totally does.
Yeah,
And the black hood is a very nice touch.
Yeah, I do like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool piece for sure. It's a cool piece.
Very, very
From
nice.
70s Americana, we should probably pick the other.
Yes.
Moving up a decade. Is that?
Moving up a decade.
So this is one that, you know, it was sent to me to Sneak, and I just read the notes because this thing, I really am glad. Is this your design?
Yes,
Brian?
this one's
Yeah,
mine,
I'm glad you're here because it's so cool, and the response to it has been so cool.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I want to let you talk about it, like what your inspiration was on this thing.
Yes. So
I'll hold it up, you talk.
all right. So with this one, we really wanted to go for like a 1980s JDM style.
Yeah.
So I think the entire design process or thought process, or what we went through to do this particular vehicle, was all threaded by this single idea of what if this was an actual car in the 1980s in, let's say, a parallel universe.
Sure.
Some OEM made this. What would this car look like? So everything that we did when styling this car, we wanted to make sure that when we enlarge this from 1/64 to 1:1 scale, it would look like something that you would see driving on the road or parking on the street, or that young people, or like, young people are racing each other with.
Yes.
And yeah, I think this is the only single thought that is like thread. This is the needle that threads every single step of the process with this particular car. Yes.
It's a perfect description. I mean, it's exactly how, it's the vibe it gives off.
Yep.
I could see it in cartoons. I could see it in real life. I could see it. I mean, I won't. Again, we'll be here another hour if I start talking about the cars I think of when I see this.
Yeah,
no,
totally. It's like 80s comic book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hero car.
It's if like 36 different 80s cars all smashed into each other, and this is what was born. Yeah.
I mean, I think the difficulty there as well is that, is designing a new one.
Yes.
So actually,
Right.
because there's so many cool 80s cars, and it's like, okay, and you end up like, oh no, it looks too much like this one,
Yeah.
or that one.
Yeah.
So managing to create one that sort of slots in between all of those was, quite a challenge.
I'll show the chassis so people can get the name on this one too, because that was the other thing I was. So you pronounce it for me.
Supotsuka.
Supotsuka. I was like the Hakosuka versus Hakosuka. It's like it's Hakosuka. So now you're saying it right. So now everybody say it again.
Supotsuka.
Okay, we got it.
I think I'm saying it right. I'm not exactly
You're saying it
sure.
right. I think it's your car. It's
That's
your,
how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
That's how we're getting it.
Supotsuka.
I think the social media, a lot of people were talking about. A lot of people were asking like, where did the name come from? I just say, read faster. Read faster.
Yeah.
Again and again. Read faster. What's it sound like? And they go, oh.
Yep. There it is.
yeah.
Supotsuka.
Yeah.
Yep. Perfect. I love it. It's another of these original designs that I think is brilliant. So, and then we go in a completely
bit
different
wild.
direction.
Yes.
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
two are different. How do I put this? Different beast. Why don't we start with this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this one was a very, very interesting project. We wanted to do a Hot Wheels original hot rod, but we wanted to see if what's like a different type of hot rod that we can do. So, and I really think with hot rod, the idea of like just chopping things off and then having and really capturing that garage built spirit, like the Legends cars, is a super important aspect. So that's the main thing I was trying to capture with this particular casting. We call it the Hoto Roto.
Here, I'll show it. Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah. The name comes from the engine you use. We wanted to see can we use a different engine than the traditional hot rod? So this one, we used a 4-rotor rotary engine.
That's so great.
Yeah. So this one was like it was a blast working on this one. Yeah.
Full fantasy at this point.
Yeah.
It's like really like going wild with
It feels like you're creating the puzzle as you go, like adding the pieces, and that's so cool.
I think that's the thing with design. You need some limitations. You need some kind of something to work within. And so it's like, okay, well, if you've got this motor and you're trying to do this, so
there's something that makes sense to it. Like there's something there. Yeah, but that's awesome.
And I think with Brian's sketches, we just want to see where he can take some of these things too. So sometimes we just give it as a challenge.
Yeah.
I love those challenges.
We'll have to, again, another video for another time. It sounds like his sketches are...
You need to sit down with Brian and just do some sketching at some point.
Okay.
That's probably a good idea.
Done. I'll draw a little like square car, and then you do a sketch, and we'll compare and contrast and see who does better. I think well, we already know what's going to happen there. All right, let's see what's happening. This thing, I'm trying to figure out what I'm looking
at. Okay. This was such a fun project.
I think you can see this as a traffic cone, right?
Yes.
So perhaps we need to, what you think the name might be of this one.
Oh, don't make me guess. Okay.
How about it?
I don't even want to try it. The Conester. All right, I'm going to look.
Think of our iconic Hot Wheels.
Oh, it's not even on here.
Iconic Hot Wheels and a traffic cone.
You guys are making me guess, and I'm under pressure.
No,
and I'm like,
it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, so we wanted to really give reference to some of our most iconic Hot Wheels. So this is the Hot Wheels Cone Shaker.
Oh, son of a...
Right there.
Yeah, it was right. I knew as soon as you're going to say it. Yeah.
So this is actually a really fun one. Brian designed this.
I'm going to edit this back, and I'm going to be like, it's the Cone
Yeah,
Shaker.
yeah,
And then I'm
exactly.
going to like show the camera and go, wow, John, great. You knew exactly what you're doing.
Wow,
Yeah.
You got it. First try.
Wow.
So this is a really fun one. Brian designed this and did such a great job with it. But the idea actually came from within our team, and not even within the design team. So actually, some of our
Really?
our product management team was like, I really think like a cone could be a car. It's come a long way since that idea, but I mean, it was really nice that idea has come from within the greater team at Hot Wheels. So it's a lot of fun.
Yes.
There's a lot of details from that sort of.
Yeah, I have to like. I think there's a lot to look at here, and
and I mean, like with all of our fantasy Hot Wheels originals, we still want to get those automotive details in. We still want to do it in a way that kind of makes sense, so that it's not just a cone on wheels, but actually, you know, all of this has got a functionality to it. We've got the details in there that sort of, you know, it could be a real car, but you know, we're trying to play with that.
I'm wondering about
the hole in the bottom.
The big hole.
Aha.
Yeah.
Brian can.
Now that's the party piece of this particular Hot Wheels, I should say.
Yeah.
Now,
you know, as with traffic cones, the great.
Oh, look at that!
They stack.
I was wondering.
One more.
This has to be just sell this as a 5-pack,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So we can just stack them.
So yeah, the cone shaker.
Oh, that is just so cool. Okay, now here's how I envision this. Star Wars, those little robot things that were always So it's like there's an accident or there's construction, and then they just roll out, and these like little. They have the little cute little mouse-like sounds as they roll out and create some sort of barrier for traffic. That's what I'm seeing right now, and I just, this is so cool. I don't even think I have to ask you about what color these are going to be.
No.
So.
And I won't tell you.
Yeah.
Because.
We'll all figure that. The amazing way I figured out the name, I can figure out the color, right?
Yeah, you got that so quickly that I'm sure you're going to get the
They're clearly going to be green.
Yeah.
So I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Actually, we have the perfect setting here. Imagine.
There you go. Yeah.
Whatever that happened.
Yeah. Look at that. We've got the originals fighting this one, and there's the barrier. This is perfect. I love this. Super cool designs.
Thank you. Yeah, such a fun project, and also working out the functionality of this one, how well it stacks, and then what is like the ergonomics, and also like how loose or how tight you want this to stack.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they do stack well.
They do stack well.
Without you having to pry them open, right? So that's awesome.
Really cool.
We got anything else? Yeah, we do.
Okay, yeah.
We do.
There's one more that you've teased already.
Yes.
This guy. We saved the best till last. I don't have an update for it yet.
Well, okay.
But I think it's safe to say we all know at this point.
I will put in the description for those that don't follow you on Instagram.
Yeah,
I will put your Instagram there. Brian, I'll put yours down too.
Thank you.
And they can work it out from there.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about two things with this model.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the model itself.
Yes.
We
It's
can
the
talk
best car in
about
the world. Yep.
the best car in the world. Is that what
yeah.
it's called? The best car in the world.
I think that's what it's called now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously this wild wheel too.
Yes. So yeah, actually, that's one thing. Yeah, there's a couple of things. Obviously, there's the car itself, and I'm very pleased with that one. But for this car as well, we are introducing a new wheel design, and you can see it on the back there.
Yes.
And it's just such a cool wheel because it looks like it's spinning at 100 miles an hour.
And
so
that
that's
was
kind
the
of plan.
the plan,
That
right?
was always the plan with this. It's very simple, but it gives us that opportunity to just it's just going to look like it's speeding in the package.
This is something that I don't know if this is like, if this element has been thought through with, in other wheels, but like typically they do look, I mean, I think there's a speed element to this one too.
Yeah,
but
I think it's very similar for that. Yeah, it gives the same impression.
But I do like this.
Yeah, and obviously the front wheel is going to get the same treatment. But
so we will see this new wheel all around on this one.
On this one will be, exactly that.
Cool.
So the whole car will be speeding along. But it gives us kind of, I mean, it's always one of these challenges at this scale trying to do wire wheels, that high like, multi-spoke wheel. But this allows it to just be the speed version of that wheel. So,
I am really looking forward not only to seeing this one, and like I said, we'll leave the model itself. We'll let people figure out what it's going to look like and why it's being done. I think people can put that together very quickly.
I mean, whatever, I'm not even that bothered by this one.
Whatever, you love it. You love it, the greatest car ever. And then watching that wheel, and then watching it go into other models as well. I think
this is going to be fun. I mean, obviously, we've done it with this one, but we will use it again in the future.
Yeah, be cool.
And I'm looking forward to kind of thinking about what we are going to put that on.
I have some ideas too.
Everything look fast.
Oh yeah, it really does.
Yeah,
it really does. I like it on our little mat here.
Yeah,
it really does look like it's flying.
Yeah.
So I'll be
pulled over. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'll be playing. Look at that. I don't know. Now we're just playing. Yeah. Look at that. Looks. Yeah,
that does look pretty cool.
They're out racing.
Yep.
That BMW might be my greatest car in the world, but we'll have that race later. Come up to Bonneville. Let's figure it out.
Awesome. Well, that's all we have from basics.
We got a lot. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
We're 40 minutes in.
Nice.
That went quick.
Sorry for waffling on, I guess.
No, this is. I think it's not only some of these models people have seen, but pictures can only say so much.
Yeah.
I can only say so much for sure. It's really great to get your insights.
Yeah, I mean, and also if anyone ever has any questions, they're more than welcome to fire them at you, and then
I'll pass them along because anything that any information we can pass along, it's always so fun.
Because I mean, there is so much story behind all of these.
There really is.
And I think that's one of the things I want to really make sure we do with the basics line, especially, is celebrate that, because there's so much design goes into these vehicles, and often with our premium and with our our D2C online vehicles, there's a lot of story that comes out with that.
Right.
There's a lot that gets communicated behind those vehicles. Which often isn't the case with our basics, because we throw them out there and we let people discover them. But, but there is so much behind them. So, yeah.
It's an element that only Hot Wheels has, and I don't use that as a marketing slogan. There's nothing like these originals, or certain approaches that you can take. And so it's really, really cool to see. So we really appreciate you guys taking some time. I know it's a busy week. I've said to all the designers, when you're in California, you guys have to work too. When you come to nationals elsewhere, maybe you can hide in somewhere.
It's
but
not
here,
all, sunshine and beaches.
No, you guys got to work.
And then I don't know if you want to come outside and see this thing.
Yes, I do.
Then you should come out and see this thing.
Then let's go out and see it. Do you want to talk about that, and I'll get some footage of the car itself, or how do you want to do that?
Let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll take you through this one, but
because this isn't basic.
This isn't basic.
No.
So we're moving back into the premium line. This is one of our 2-packs that's coming very soon. But yeah, we were talking about 2-packs, and there was a suggestion that maybe it could be a Morris Mini, and I was like, oh, I know a Morris Mini.
I'm familiar with one.
I know those cars. So how about we make it red? And so it was made red, and then applied with some graphics, and then actually, 1 month ago, my own car was imported. Finally, this is my first car that I bought when I was 17. Imported to California. Yeah, I've owned it like 20-something years. And I finally got it over here, and at the same time this comes out. So, pretty pleased with it.
So it's outside in the parking lot. I'll get some footage of it.
I'm just driving around every day in it. Yeah, it's just my daily car. But, yeah.
Which
is pretty crazy in LA, actually, for such a small thing.
This is one of the great privileges of being a Hot Wheels designer, is to be able to... that parking lot's wild. And
Yeah. I mean, I do love that, and it's kind of reassuring. You know,
Yes.
okay, we are surrounded by car guys. It's okay. We're in safe hands.
you could pretty much drive anything in there and get away with it.
Yeah.
You know, from a hypercar
It's
to
eclectic.
a junker of some sort. So.
Yeah, precisely. And I think that's the nice thing is that, I'm into certain cars. Brian's into certain cars. And, but everyone on the team has got a different perspective. They've got a different interest point. So it just means that we can be eclectic like this, and we can put together a line that hopefully caters for everyone. In some way or another. And we're not going to make everyone happy with every single car, but every single car will cater to someone in the automotive world.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, this has been fantastic. Truly. I really appreciate both of you. We'll let you go work because we've already talked through all of that. So
let's go
I know.
some cars.
I know. Yeah. See, now you just made it something worse. Oh, let's go drive cars. You guys have the worst life ever.
We really struggle. We struggle through.
Well, we really appreciate it. We'll look forward to these.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Very much.
You got it.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.